Hey YouTube, so there's a new DRL simulator out, and that means I need to make a new how to connect your Taranis to DRL simulator. If you've never connected your Taranis to a computer before, you need one of these here USB cables. I believe this is called mini USB as opposed to micro for an Android cell phone. It's the larger one. It goes back in here, and note that you need to turn your Taranis on before you plug it in. If you don't, then your power switch will do nothing. Don't be alarmed by that, that's totally normal. So you need to unplug this, turn this on, my welcome stranger allowed warning. And then now you can go ahead and plug this in, and once you do so, hopefully it will focus, yeah. You can see the little USB icon shows up right there in the corner in the top right. So now you need to set up your profile. Let's go ahead and make this larger so you can see what I'm doing. If you go out to the main menu here by clicking menu, you can just go ahead and copy any one of your normal, hopefully it focuses, come on, any one of your normal models that you would normally be flying on. You can go ahead and select it, and you just hit copy, and you move it up, and you're copied. Mine's going to say that it's got the same name, so you'd have to go rename it. I already have one, so I'm going to delete that, and we will just look through the one that I've already got. So this one here, we will go ahead and select this model. Oh, it already is selected, and we'll hit page. You can name it up there. The only thing you're going to want to do, if this will ever focus, come on, there we go, is if you scroll on up here, you can turn your external RF to the off position. You don't need it to be dumping out radio, and your internal RF also to the off position. That's just going to waste your battery. You don't actually need the RF. So then we can go to page, alright, on over to mixer. Mixer is the one we care about here. So channel 1 through 4 are going to be your stick inputs. You set these up just like any other thing. We'll jump on in there, edit it, and if you go down to your source, you can select it, and while it's flashing, you move one of the levers. So right now it's on ailerons. If I change it, it'll change it to elevator. I'll put it back to ailerons because that's what I want. And this thing is doing a crap job at focusing, so I apologize for that. Hopefully you can read that. There we go. And that's it. So now if we go on down, normally your radio may be set up so that channels 5 and 6 will be this switch and this switch. That's usually fine for other games. Velocidrone does fine with that, Liftoff does fine with that, even old DRL does fine with that, but the new one will not. The new one, you want channels 9 and 10, and I will show you why in a second. Come on, focus. There we go. So we can go ahead and select channel 9, edit, still not focusing. Go down, select our source, and it's going to flash, and now we just poke this button here, and it will set it to SF, and everything is wonderful. Same process happens for channel 10, except we're going to do SH over here. Alright, now that that's set up, we can go ahead and make sure that Windows actually sees our stuff. So we're going to go ahead and just, let's do screen only. And we'll hit the Windows key, and I'm just going to start typing joystick, J-O-Y-S-T-I-C-K. And it's set up USB game controllers here. We can hit enter, and now we're going to go on the Taranis is the one we care about, and the properties. So now let's show this picture back again so you can see the screen. Cool. If we move this stick up and down, it's our Z-axis. Horizontally is X rotation, and then this moves the little square over on the left. Now, normally this stick, if it's on your channel number 5, is going to move your Y rotation, and this will move your Z rotation if it's on channel 10. That is not going to work in DRL Sim if you're running Windows 10. You want it on channels 9 and 10 because that shows up as a button. See, button 1 lights up, and then over here, button 2 lights up. I've heard some people getting away with it, so you might just try your Velocidrone profile or your whatever other old simulator profile first. If it doesn't work, go ahead and follow this method, and that should get you going. So we know that Windows sees it We know that the Taranis is happy. Let's go ahead and get DRL to see it. So we're going to move over to the settings, add or remove controllers. I already have a controller set up, so let's go ahead and delete it. And we will do new controller. So its first thing it's going to say is to move your sticks, and that's just if you have multiple controllers, it knows which ones to talk to. And then it says center them. So I'm going to go ahead and center them and hit next. I'm just hitting enter to do next. And we take the left stick and go horizontally. And it takes a few times. Make sure that you're getting all the way full left, full right. And vertically, again, make sure you're going all the way full left, full right. And by that I mean full up, full down. Now notice when I go down, it goes up, and when I go up, it goes down. Don't worry about that. We will deal with that later. Same deal for this one. Now it sees it. And this one. Right stick vertically. Alright, again, this one's inverted, but that's okay. We'll deal with that later. Now the buttons. So we'll go ahead and hit this button, and it shows up nice and quick for me. If it doesn't show up for you, double check that you're not using channels 5 and 6 and that you are using channels 9 and 10. That was the big issue for me. Now we get this one, and it sees it almost right away now. Before I could flick this as many times as I want, and it just wasn't happening. Alright, dead zone. So if you look very close at my throttle stick up on the game itself, you'll see that it's twitching back and forth just ever so slightly. That is as a result of these being old, tired gimbals. And this is what this page is for, your dead zone. So if you have just that little bit of jitter and you want to get rid of that, you can adjust your dead zone slider up a little bit. I'm not too worried about it, so I'm going to leave it alone. Oops, let's go ahead here. It looks like, oh yeah, okay, so it's backwards. Great, we'll hit next. I'm just leaving my dead zone alone. And here's where we fix that inversion issue. So down is up and up is down on our left stick. So we're going to go ahead and invert our left stick. And now up is up and down is down. Everything's great. The same issue was over here on our right stick. So we will do invert our right stick. Don't worry about your switches being inverted. That doesn't matter. Those are just a toggle anyways. The only other thing to check is if when you center your sticks, they're not actually centered. It's offset by a little bit. I have had that happen before. Usually that's your own fault. It was my own fault when I did that before. When it tells you to center the sticks, make sure you actually center the sticks. If you don't, it thinks the center point is in a different location than the center point actually is. So just go ahead and back on over to cancel and redo the wizard for yourself, and you should be all set. Besides that, everything should be good, and we will just hit save. And notice now down in the bottom right it says Taranis, and everything is wonderful. If you guys run into any issues, please feel free to comment down below. I will try my best to answer whatever questions you've got, but hopefully that gets some people on the right track, and I will see you on the leaderboards. Have a good one.